By now, you are well aware of the transformation that's taken place here at Soldier Field. The eye-catching architecture, the state-of-the-art football experience, and the amenities. This is now a world-class stadium. But there's something else that's going on here that has really kind of transfigured this place. It's subtle yet powerful. Art and architecture and history have coalesced to make this more than just an entertainment venue. It was the name Soldier Field in the grandeur of the old stadium with its immense columns that paid homage to our soldiers and veterans over the years. Today, a lot has changed physically, but the original meaning remains. The city took advantage of the reconstruction to incorporate more of that meaning into the design. This restored Doughboy statue was unveiled at Gate O on the south end when the stadium reopened. At the main entrance to the north, in a ceremony on Veterans Day, 2 additional memorials were dedicated. Asked to create these memorials to adorn the north end of the stadium were artist Koh-Varilla and his wife, Koh-Varilla. They succeeded in bringing beauty, emotionality, and authenticity to their designs, and it was quite a task.
We have to work non-stop because the deadline was so tight. I mean, you know, we work non-stop. That's what we did.
Lots of research, a lot of faxes, phone calls, emails to my brother. He was a retired naval officer, so he was able to get a lot of the uniforms and make everything just right.
His research was unbelievably important.
And also for the water wall medallions as well, because you have official seals of the armed forces and unofficial seals.
Right,
so you know, we had to make sure that we got everything official.
A lot of research has to be done
with this. So.
Work started in early 2003 as soon as their proposals were accepted. For the relief sculpture, there were several different stages to the process.
Well, first of all, you start off with a maquette, a model of your idea that had to be approved. Then once that was approved, we made even a larger maquette so that we could easily determine work out the composition and everything. And then from there, we had an armature made for the big one. An armature being a framework and of steel and plywood and all kinds of pipes and wires. And then we added the clay on, and then we modeled the clay forms to get it just right, and started the figures in the nude, and then we clothed them, making sure that the uniforms and everything are just so. And then once that's done, then a 40-piece sectional mold is made from the clay.
Eventually, the bronze was poured, and the final sculpture began to take form.
Once the pieces are now in bronze, and all the bronze pieces have to be welded together. And then you have to grind the seams and make the seams invisible. And then the patination process, the coloration, the gold, electroplating, and some little gold leaf highlighting. And then it's shipped here, mounted, and then you have an unveiling ceremony.
Right.
From the moment of the unveiling, the sculpture entitled A Tribute to Freedom was a hit. The scene depicts members of the armed forces from diverse backgrounds and their families. The artists intentionally left out scenes of combat, instead focusing on connections to home and family. The scene and characters are set in Chicago and portray the diversity of the city. There's a reason, though, for the authenticity in the faces and stances of the characters.
And also, I have to tell you, this sculpture, we had a live model, they posed for us. And a lot of them were not a professional model. Some of them is actors, some of them friend of ours, and some, you know, children, or friend of our children. And they were so happy to pose for this one. That's why it looks so lively. And we tried to depict it as much as possible, try to portray what is a Chicago population, how we are. That's what we did.
Just behind Tribute to Freedom and leading up to the entranceway is the artist's memorial water wall, with medallions that appear to be suspended in cascading water. Created around the same time as the relief sculpture, the medallions depict each branch of the military. The dedication of the water wall on Veterans Day included a wreath-laying ceremony in honor of those who died while serving their country. For Jeff and Anna, creating both of these tributes meant expending a lot of time and energy very quickly, but in the end, it was all worth it.
I felt grateful. I felt privileged. And it's a humbling experience too, because you realize when you work on a piece like this, what a responsibility it is. Not only as an artist, but also for the community. And for the legacy of so many people who have had so much pride in their service to this country, and also to the people who have had a lot of faith in our work. There's a lot of responsibility there.
These and other memorials continue the commitment the city has to honoring its men and women of the armed forces, as well as its commitment to enhancing Chicago's beauty, art, and culture.